Day 3 on this 7-day water fast, and I'm feeling heart palpitations. So, what do I do about this? I'll explain here. I'll explain the solution that I use, a concoction that I'm making here to sip. Also feeling a little bit not so great. Probably the reason why I'm having the heart palpitations also. And what are we going to do about this, right? So just an update here. Before we get all excited and so worried about what heart palpitations are, most people just off the cuff when they hear what, heart palpitations is like, oh my God, heart palpitations is a bad thing. It happens often to people in many different situations, and just to give you some ease, put you at ease a little bit here. Heart palpitations as defined on the Mayo Clinic website, feelings of having a fast beating, fluttering, or pounding heart, stress, exercise, medication, or rarely medical condition can trigger them. Although heart palpitations can be worrisome, they're usually harmless, right? Lots of medications cause heart palpitations, right? Why I'm experiencing it now, I believe it's because of electrolyte deficiency. This has happened to me before. The very first time I did a 7-day water fast, I didn't take anything, like 0 electrolytes, which is what I'm about to put together here now. And I just kind of muscled through it. And I was fine, and maybe that's why I had such a crazy experience, like mentally, because I didn't have electrolytes, and maybe electrolytes are being pulled from like my bones and stuff, which is what I read about as far as fasting goes for 7 days. But this time around, I'm going to use some of this. This is my concoction, right? So take a mason jar like this, filled with room temperature water, because I want this stuff to dissolve in here. So I'm not going to use cold water. Take 4 of these. It's supposed to be up to 1 ml, and this dropper, I can never get it to suck 1 ml. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. This is magnesium, by the way. Maybe we'll zoom in on that. Trace elements, liquid magnesium. I'm taking it because I'm on carnivore and it's liquid and I don't want any. I want to minimize the amount of solids that goes into my body. And on carnivore diet, I want to minimize the plant substances that are going into my body. And this is completely liquid. It doesn't have any plant substances. I think the magnesium is suspended in seawater from what it says on the ingredients list here. So magnesium, right? And this is my little formula that I've been using for electrolytes. Hopefully that shows up there. There. So S for salt, 1/4 teaspoon. P for potassium, 2/4 teaspoons. And M for magnesium, 4 droppers full of this trace elements. Anyhow, this thing, right? The secret recipe that I'm using. Some salt. So, a lot of people see this salt shaker on some of my videos and they're like, oh, you shouldn't be using table salt. And I'm like, this is not table salt. This is Redmond salt. It's Redmond's. Redmond's real salt, right? So, what is my recipe? There's a reason I have the recipe because I forget it often. 1 of these. So, sodium. We've got magnesium. We've got sodium. What is this? Cream of tartar, potassium. So cream of tartar, I didn't know this before I started looking for electrolytes, but I didn't know that cream of tartar is actually potassium. I didn't even cook with cream of tartar. I have no idea what it is. I don't think you know what it is unless you're like a baker or someone who bakes often. So 1, and then 2 of these. You just gotta kind of eyeball it because it's, it's sort of a weird, it's a tiny scooper and this stuff doesn't really go well. So just eyeballing it. Take that. I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon, right? 1/4 teaspoon. Tiny one. Cap this, and again, room temperature water so it mixes better. Easier. I guess the salt will dissolve easier when the water's room temperature instead of cold. I guess you could use cold, right? And whenever I'm feeling a little bit crummy, or if I feel the heart palpitations come back, sip some of this. And that's good. And the body immediately thanks me for it. I can feel it, you know, as it goes in, digest, you can feel that your body knows it's getting something that it needs. And yeah, this is basically what I use from day 3 on. So it took me until, surprisingly, it took me until day 3 to get here. I was thinking that it would take me a lot shorter, like I would get here in day 1 or 2, purely because I'm on carnivore, and some people say that, you know, you have electrolyte deficiency because you're on carnivore and you don't have carbohydrates. Your body isn't retaining as much water as it normally does while you're eating carbohydrates. So I expected to get here a lot sooner. I'm at day 3 3/4, and I'm experiencing the heart palpitations, which tells me it's time for some electrolyte supplementation. And if you're doing this for the first time I did no supplements, right? No electrolyte supplementation. And I did muscle through it, and it was difficult, and it was rewarding, definitely rewarding, difficult, and an interesting experience that I would not change for anything. However, this time I do want to be able to operate. I want to continue to make these videos for you. I want to be able to run my business efficiently. At that time when I did the first one, I sort of took like a week off and I worked a couple of hours a day, but I do want to continue to operate at a level that allows me to produce, run my businesses, and you know, be with my family for the most part as much as I can. So I'm going to supplement with this stuff. Maybe I have the opportunity the last time that I did this to be able to stay home because I work from home. So if you have a job, you know, it's physical and whatnot, you might want to consider adding the supplements, the electrolytes, in order to, you know, allow you to function at a level that makes you competent of doing the job, right? And not get hurt doing it. Not to say that like you're going to be completely failing because you're, you know, in a 7-day water fast. However, at least for me, my energy has dropped maybe 70% of normal. 70% of normal right now. I'm not sure if it'll drop even more. However, there is a sense of enhanced mental clarity and comprehension of things. Although my mind does feel like it's operating at a slower pace, I think because it's operating at that slower pace, I'm able to digest information and see things more clearly, as if any fog that might have been there, that might have been making my head or my mind race previously, is gone. So I can think critically, make decisions, you know, analyze data, analyze the situation, and make decisions upon that situation, although it takes me longer now. The thinking is a lot more clear and focused. And I think that I'll make better decisions in this sort of state of mind where my mind is slow. So anyhow, I'm going to stop blabbling. Yeah, that's it.